No doubt about it, whitewater activities are a blast. But it's important to realize that to fully enjoy the river, you need skills and knowledge. River running is not a routine and predictable activity. Whitewater boating is an active participation sport with inherent risk. The joy of river running begins with an attitude focused on avoiding problems. This starts when you choose the river and the group you plan to paddle with. Make sure that the difficulty of the river is appropriate for your skills and equipment. Bring a map and know your takeout. Never boat alone. And remember, whitewater is no place for drugs and alcohol. Inexperienced paddlers without a trained guide should choose a Class 1 or 2 river. This is on the river rating scale of 1 to 6. But the rating doesn't tell the entire story. These ratings can change quickly if the river level is rising, when the risk increases dramatically. Flooded rivers are especially dangerous. To avoid these dangers, consult guidebooks and ask local paddlers or outfitters for advice about the river you plan to run. The next step of preparation starts when you dress for the river. Cold water and hypothermia are obvious threats on nasty days, but good weather days can be deceptive. Know the water temperature. And dress accordingly. With chilly water or weather, you'll want warmer protection, like a paddling jacket or a wetsuit. Warmer temperatures call for quick drying fabrics, but not cotton. Proper equipment is essential for river running. Your personal flotation device or PFD should fit you tightly. Fasten your PFD, then test the fit of your PFD by tugging up at the shoulders. If the shoulder straps go over your ears, then it is too loose or improperly sized. Tighten the straps to the appropriate fit. A PFD that comes off is no help, so keep your PFD on and securely fastened at all times. Footwear that will stay on your feet to protect you from sharp rocks, broken glass, and other debris is also necessary. The use of helmets vary by river difficulty, water levels, and local custom. If using a helmet, make sure it's securely fastened, is snug, and protects your forehead. That's the personality part of your brain. You'll often use a paddle to help maneuver the boat. Hang the T-grip over your thumb and wrap your fingers around it. Your other hand goes down the shaft at a comfortable distance. Be careful with your paddle. One of the most common injuries in rafting is from the paddle hitting other boaters. Whitewater is not the right place for inner tubes in rafts with only one air chamber, or for paddlers without PFDs. Inadequate gear is asking for trouble. PFD, paddles, proper clothing, and an appropriate boat are all imperative. Rafts come in various shapes and sizes. In a paddle raft, you're going to sit on the outside edge. Yep, that's the best place to both brace yourself in and still be able to reach the water with your paddle. Feet go flat on the floor, legs brace against the outside tubes. It's okay to put your toes under the cross tube in front of you or in a foot cup, but only your toes. Avoid stretching your leg across the boat where someone could fall on it. In this position, it's easy to stay in the raft, and you're safer in the raft rather than falling out and swimming. Typically, a well-experienced group will carry first aid kits and throw ropes. This equipment should only be used by those trained to do so. This and any gear should be tied in securely. Be especially wary of ropes. Avoid dangling sections of ropes that could become wrapped around an arm or a leg. Never tie yourself into a rope. Paddling a raft is easy if everyone stays alert and aware. Very good. Good.
Everyone forward.
Communication and teamwork are the key to control. Choose a leader or captain for your team. The captain will call out the strokes and set the angle of the raft by reaching the blade way behind the boat and pulling in or pushing out on the paddle. Once the angle is set, the crew provides the power. The front two people in the raft set the pace. They paddle in sync, and everyone behind them follows their strokes. The captain keeps the boat on line with a rudder stroke. When the captain gives the command for a forward stroke, each paddler will reach forward with the paddle and pull through the water to their hip. With drift or stop, all paddlers take their paddles out of the water and wait for the next command. If the captain gives the command for a reverse stroke, each paddler will reach back with the paddle and push through the water to their hip. The captain can also use the crew to spin the boat by calling for one side to paddle forward and the other side to back paddle.
Forward on the left, back on the right. Forward on the left, back on the right. Forward on the left, back on the right. Forward on the left, back on the right.
Now that you know how to move your boat, you will want to look for the best route to take. This is called reading the water. Generally, you will look for and paddle towards deep channels where you can avoid rocks. These deeper passages have swift water and tall waves and provide the best ride and the most fun. Always plan your route far in advance. It takes much longer to maneuver a boat than you may think. Even in the best of circumstances, sometimes people end up out of the boat. If you fall out, take an immediate and active part in your own rescue. Be aggressive. Keep your body lined up with the current so you can slip by rocks without hitting them. Use your legs to absorb the impact from rocks if necessary. If the water is shallow, arch your back to keep your feet up high. Always keep your feet near the surface, and never try to stand up in water that is deep enough to float you. If your foot gets caught, the water pushes your body over and can hold you underwater. A foot entrapment is extremely dangerous, but can be easily avoided. When you fall out of the raft, you may be able to reach the rope tied to the side of the raft. People in the raft should immediately turn their efforts towards the rescue of you, the swimmer. If you land a few feet from the raft, extend your paddle to the raft for extra reach, or a person in the raft may reach to you with their paddle. Pull yourself close to the boat, hand them your paddle, and grab the line. Facing the raft, pull down on the lines as you kick yourself up and into the boat. A person in the boat can assist you by pulling with 2 hands on the shoulders of your PFD. Or if your arms are down, they can grab you under your armpits to pull you in. If you end up further from the raft, you will need to decide whether to get back to the raft or to swim to shore. From the defensive swimming position, on your back with your feet up, you can evaluate what's next. When you see a hazard to avoid or the calm water near the shore for safety, angle your body and backstroke to maneuver there. In deeper and faster water, you may need to swim more aggressively to get out of the current and avoid hazards. Roll over on your stomach and use a crawl stroke. Keep swimming hard and get out as quickly as you can. On some types of rapids, paddlers position throw ropes for a little extra backup. If you get a rope thrown to you, grab it, then roll onto your back. Hold the rope over the shoulder away from the thrower. This will swing you into shore quickly. Do not hold the rope face first. Now you know how to swim in whitewater and how to maneuver to good routes. It's time to read the water again, this time looking for obstacles and hazards. Some rocks are evident, sticking above the surface. Others appear as blank spots, or a lack of current, which indicate rocks under the surface. Look for continuous current. It provides the best ride. Be alert for sharp or jumbled rock formations, or anything man-made, as either is frequently dangerous. Broaching on rocks is sometimes unavoidable. If you see rocks or any hazard in time, turn the boat angle away from the rock and paddle around it. If you hit the rock, try to spin the boat around and off of it. If you ride up on the rock, quickly move everyone in the boat towards the rock or towards the high side of the boat. This allows the current to flow under your boat and keeps it from grabbing hold of your boat and possibly pinning it. If you're stuck on top of the rock, try bouncing and spinning to see if you can float free. Have the paddlers move in the boat so no one is sitting on the rock, and try bouncing again. As a last resort, someone may need to get out of the boat to push it free. That person should first check the depth of the water and should get out on the upstream side. That person should be ready to jump back in the boat once it does float free. Strainers are one of the worst river hazards. Trees or single branches in the current allow the water to flow through but stop and hold boats. This creates a severe pinning hazard. To avoid strainers, and just in general, it's a good idea to head towards the inside of a bend in the river. Swimming over a strainer is an important skill to know. You want to avoid this predicament, but if you find yourself unavoidably swimming towards a strainer, switch from the defensive swimming position to head first and reach up and kick to launch up and over the top of it. A pour-over hydraulic presents another hazard. If a lot of water is going over a rock, the backwash is quite powerful. The water drops down, goes underneath, and some recycles back upstream. This type of feature can stop and hold a boat. The worst examples are man-made, low-head dams, which are much more dangerous than they look. If the water is moving upstream more than 3 feet, like in this example, you can get recycled in there if you swim. If you ever are caught swimming in a hydraulic, swim to the sides of the hydraulic where the current is rushing by. Larger vertical drops have a unique swimming technique. The idea is to ball up to avoid the possibility of washing into a foot entrapment. Anytime you can't see around a bend or to the bottom of a rapid, you should pay special attention. Scouting, where you get out and look at a rapid, is always a good option. Don't be afraid to walk a rapid, or even to hike out from your trip. Let's review some essential points. Good boating includes choosing the appropriate river, paddling with a group, fitting the PFD properly, staying in the boat, immediately rescuing swimmers in the water, swimming defensively, feet up and feet downstream, swimming aggressively away from hazards, swimming aggressively towards where you want to be, recognizing and avoiding hazards. Keep in mind that easier water can be great fun with considerably less risk. When in doubt, get out and scout. You must realize that there's risk involved in taking a whitewater trip. By going on the trip, you assume that risk. With proper precautions, you can have a great day of boating. Be alert and have fun out there.